Tomorrow night at Illinois State University's Brayton Auditorium, a special Christmas concert takes place, and I'm talking with a gentleman who will be providing the music, Roger Williams. Good morning, Roger. How are you?
Hey, Ken. How you doing?
Well, terrific. It's great to visit with you.
How's the weather?
Well, it shouldn't be too bad. We've cooled off a little bit. In fact, we've cooled off a lot, but that just gets us in the Christmas mood, I think, so far.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an old Midwesterner, so I'm coming home again.
Where did you grow up?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. Well, you don't think of Des Moines necessarily as being a great place for concert pianists, and yet it's produced at least one.
Well, listen, it just depends on how hard you work in life, where you get. It's a funny thing. I grew up in Des Moines, and of course they didn't have a lot of music there, but I started playing the piano when I was 3 years old. It just came so naturally to me, so I just went from there, Ken.
Yeah. Do you play a lot by by ear? Is that the way you would play?
Yeah, you know the old gag. I play harp by ear, but it kept getting caught in the strings. No, when I was a kid, my teacher would never play a song for me because I could play it right back to her. She made me read the music. And I know about 10,000 different songs. And in the second half of our show will be largely Christmas. But I take requests out of the audience, Ken, and I take maybe 40, 50 requests, and I play them. I can play all these tunes in any key, and they don't stump me too often. I'll tell you that.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Special gift. Roger Williams is on the line, of course. We're talking to him in California, but he will be here tomorrow night. And I'm told that you've played for every president since Jefferson. Is that right?
That's right. Well, no. Actually, it was Washington.
Now, actually, go back.
I can be older than I am.
How far back do you go? Who was the first president you played for?
Harry Truman.
And he played the piano himself a little bit.
Yeah, he did. He played very well. In fact, I tell stories in the concert about all the presidents I've played for. And he was the first one, and he was quite a guy, I'll tell you. Amazing pianist, believe it or not. He sat down, and the first time I played for him, he said, "I'm going to play for you, Raj." He sat down and he played the Chopin C-sharp minor waltz, which is, well, it has a little tough part in the middle, Ken.
That's when it sort of sounds like the Tennessee Waltz or something. Huh?
No, not that easy.
Or the Missouri Waltz, let's see.
Well, that's what I figured he'd play, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And when he got through, I said, "Mr. President," I said, "you would have made a great pianist." And boy, he just snapped back at me. He said, "You know, a hell of a lot of people wish I'd stuck with it."
He was something else.
That was Harry Truman.
Yeah. Why is it that you became so associated with the presidents? Do you play at the White House very often?
Yes, I do. Well, it's a funny thing. Once you get started, it's like I feel like Billy Graham. They keep calling him back, every president. Mm-hmm. But I've played for them, and every one are different. I tell stories about them all.
Yeah. I guess when I think about, you can almost list on one hand the number of pianists who have made it. I mean, to make it as a hit recording artist with a popular single, I'm thinking there was a song called Alley Cat at one time, which made, Bent Fabric, kind of a name for a while. Of course, you had Floyd Kramer and Liberace and Roger Williams, and that's about all I can come up with now for some reason.
Well, Franny and Taisha did pretty well.
Oh, yeah, the team.
But they're not together anymore, so... it just seems like it's me and Floyd Kramer anymore.
Yeah, and of course he had the drop roll thing that he did.
Yeah, Floyd's a nice guy. He really is.
I took a few piano lessons in my life, and of course I remember that drop roll thing, like last date.
Yeah, the bent string type of feel.
When you play, speaking of bent strings, have you ever had a piano damaged, or you just use whatever house piano they provide you with?
Oh, don't get me into that. I've had 3 pianos explode on me, believe it or not.
You're kidding.
No, sir. There's many, many tons of pressure on the plate of a piano from the strings.
Yeah.
And once in a while, the last time it happened was in Washington, D.C., and I was playing at the Carter Barron Theater there, which is an outdoor theater. It seats about, 15,000. Anyway, we got all ready for the concert, and they wheeled the piano out on the stage, and there was a hole in the stage, and the one leg went down in the hole and broke off, and the piano crashed down on the stage, and Ken, you've never heard an explosion like a piano exploding. I thought somebody had thrown a bomb on the stage.
Wow.
And I ran out there, and the piano tuner was crying because it was Rubinstein's favorite piano, Richter's favorite piano. Horowitz always asked for it when he came to Washington. And the piano was worth, he said, about $132 in scrap because the strings were like spaghetti all over. It was a terrible thing. And I didn't know what to do. It was time to go on. And they had an old upright piano underneath the stage. And I said, well, wheel it out. Let's give it a try. And a couple of the notes didn't even work. And they lifted up the top of the upright, and a moth flew out. And that was the concert that night. But you know what's amazing? When a thing like that happens, you really have the audience with you. And I played the whole concert with encores, and it was quite a night. I still say the moth stole the show.
Wow. They probably didn't have time to tune that old one either, did they?
No, it was well, at intermission the tuner was out there, but he was actually crying about this other piano.
Wow. So you can use a mistuned piano to your advantage. I found that out because if you play wrong notes and explain to people that it's out of tune.
You're in. Well, I'm not going to play any wrong notes at Brighton, believe me. I'm looking forward to that concert.
You've been in town before. I think you're no stranger to Bloomington Normal.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but the last time I played there was 20 years ago. And I'm looking forward to this one. And we've had such tremendous raves on this concert that you're in for a great night. I promise you that. Probably the best night you've ever heard by a pianist.
Yeah.
And I don't say that well, I guess I am bragging, but it's just gone so well. And I play so many different types of music, and the second half, as I say, is all requests.
Is it just you when you come? I mean, it's really up to you, or do you have any help at all?
We'll have a full orchestra there.
Oh, terrific.
But on the requests, of course, it's me, because the band just can't seem to,
It would take too much coordination to try to figure out, yeah. When you played in the past, of course, there's one song, The Leaves, The Autumn Leaves, that's just associated with you.
Yeah, that and Born Free.
Born Free is another one, yeah.
Near You, Until. We had about 6 big hits.
Did you have Roger's Bumble Boogie, too, or something like that?
Well, Roger's Bumblebee, yes, but that never was a big hit.
That's a great piece, though. That really shows the fingers can fly.
Well, you yell it out, and I'll play it.
All right. Is there any story behind the Autumn Leaves song? That's the one most people think of when they think of you.
Well, I think the big thing in life is to be prepared. I was a Boy Scout, but boy, that sure worked for me, because it wasn't even my recording session when I recorded Autumn Leaves. It was Jane Morgan's. And she went in and recorded up until the last 11 minutes. And I had gotten a call on a Friday night from David Kapp, who was the head of my record company, and he said, "You know a tune called Autumn Leaves?" And I said, "You mean Falling Leaves?" I didn't even know the title, Ken. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Well, if Jane only has 3 songs ready, and if we have any time, why," he said, "why don't you come in and record that?" So I stayed up for 2 nights. And I arranged that tune, and we orchestrated it. And there were 11 minutes left in the session when she got through, and he said, "We don't even have time to rehearse it, just play it." So I played it, and it came out to be, about 3 minutes and 2 seconds. And you're not old enough to remember, but in those days, a jockey wouldn't play a song if it was over 3 minutes.
Yeah, they were all short recordings.
That's right. And he said, we have time for just one more take. And he said, see if you can play those thirds a little faster. And I did. And the last take came out to 2:59. And Ken, I went home and I thought, gee whiz, if that thing ever does anything, I just wish it would pay last month's rent, because I was behind. And it's been paying it ever since, of course. And
wow.
From then on, my tours just took off, and my concert, I've never stopped, actually.
Yeah, I love it, though. It's the way we look at artistic work in this country. You can do a terrific job on a recording, and what's the first question they ask? Is it under 3 minutes in length?
That's right. That's right. And they wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
But with 259, they accepted.
What's the longest piece you've played? Come to think of it, are there any long?
The longest piece I play will be on the second half, Ken. When I take 40 or 50 requests, I play for about 30, 40 minutes.
You turn it into a medley, do you?
Oh yeah, I can play about 10,000 different songs, and I can play them in any key. So they don't stump me very often unless they ask for the latest rap tune, which I haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
But
I can see you doing about 50 minutes worth of songs, but the concert could be about 6 hours because it takes you that long to find the sheet music, you know?
Well, of course, I don't use any sheet music. I play all by ear.
Wow. Did you take lessons formally then with an instructor? You did, you said.
Yeah, I did, but actually, music came so easy for me. By the time I was 12, I was playing 13 different instruments. Not well, because I got very interested in sports and the girls, and music took a back seat. Actually, I have my first degree is in engineering, believe it or not.
Wow.
A lot of people are alive because I didn't pursue it.
And he's been working on a piano that wouldn't explode ever since.
You're right. But then I just suddenly realized that I did have a very special gift, and so when I got out of the Navy, I came back and started to work very seriously, 8-10 hours a day. And boy, that did it.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about the concert here in just a moment, but let me break. Roger Williams is on the line, and you're in tune to the Ken Behrens Show on WJBC. Okay, we're back with Roger Williams on WJBC. He'll be in town for a concert at Braden Auditorium on, tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. If you want tickets, hurry up and snatch them up because it's going to be a great show. He's going to be doing a lot of Christmas things, as we mentioned. I just want to ask you, you've played all over the world, I believe.
Yes,
And are there any concerts that really come to mind? Obviously, you're never going to forget the one where the piano exploded. But who have you worked with? Have you done background music, just playing for other singers and the like, or has it always been Roger Williams, featured pianist here for the last? I don't know.
That's pretty much it, Ken. Bad or good, I just like to be me, and I like to do my thing, and so I just keep playing. I've appeared with all the major symphonies. We just left Minneapolis last week. Victor Borge was there Saturday night. I was there Sunday night. We both sold out. I just keep playing, and I love to play. I hate the damn traveling. It's a pain. It really is. You don't know what it's like to have 80 musicians sitting on stage waiting to rehearse, and all of a sudden you're in Chicago or somewhere, and they announce that the plane is going to be late or they've canceled it, and that is rough.
Yeah.
Or you get through rehearsing at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night with the symphony, and you go to your hotel room, and they've given your room away. But when I sit down at that piano, it's the greatest thrill of my life. It really is. I love to play.
In front of a live audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe me, we don't have any dead audiences anymore. They're right there because they're shouting out requests and they're singing along, and it's a great show. It really is.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Roger, we're going to look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at the Braden Auditorium here in Bloomington Normal.
Well, you bum. Are you going to be there?
Well, I'm going to try to make it, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Listen, I promise you the best piano concert you've ever heard. And that's a promise.
All right. We'll look forward to it, and I know you'll deliver because you've been doing it for so long.
I better get it right.
I'm going to call. In fact, I'm going to call Braden right now and say, make sure you don't have any holes in the stage because we don't want any pianos blowing up.
I'm with you.
All right. Roger, thank you.
Thank you, Ken.